It's the AFL's Night of Nights. And there's something in it for the blokes too.
Richmond v West Coast. Richmond in Broad, 1 vote.
Especially Melbourne's Christian Petracca.
See Petracca, 3 votes.
Gill's gaffes aside, the Brownlow glory went to Carlton captain Patrick Cripps.
P. Cripps.
Who dodged a late season suspension for this hit on Brisbane's Calamachi.
I actually don't know whether to laugh or cry. It's unbelievable. I can't put it into words at the moment, but it's a massive honour, and I'm absolutely pumped.
But it probably doesn't take the sting out of this.
3, 2, siren! Collingwood win! Carlton are out of the finals! Collingwood have won in the most dramatic of comebacks!
And that wasn't the only finals game this season to play out to the bitter end.
It's a massive overall.
The Cats are through to a prelim in one of the best finals you will ever see.
The Dockers have done it!
And this week's blockbuster between Sydney and Collingwood was no different. It was nail-biting, edge of your seat, screaming at the telly footy. And in the final moments...
It's the Swans. And the Pies Cinderella story finally grinds to a halt.
What a finish. Wow.
Wow, indeed, buddy. That win sends Lance Franklin to his 6th big dance.
Wow.
And it's set to be an epic clash. Geelong taking on Sydney in the first AFL Grand Final to be played at the MCG for 3 years.
It's about damn time.
The Cats are coming in strong with a 15-game winning streak after annihilating the Brisbane Lions, but the Swans are nipping at their heels. The last time Geelong was in the final fight was 2020 when, let's just say, the better team won.
What only the toughest and strongest could do in 2020.
So can the Cats go one better this time with the perfect win? That's what I... Or will the Swans fly in to steal Premiership glory?
And West Coast Eagles Premiership player Will Schofield joins us now. Welcome, Will.
Hey.
G'day guys, how are you?
Yeah, very good. Great to chat to you tonight. Can we talk Patrick Cripps, his WA boy? How good was it to see him get the Brownlow?
Yeah, it was fantastic. In Northampton, boy, they've got the Statue of Fame walk down there in Northampton. I think I saw a fake Brownlow medal draped over his shoulder down there up there in Northampton. So it was great to see a West Australian. A little shout out to Aaron Norton, another West Australian. I know Paddy Cripps won the Brownlow, but Aaron Norton probably took the chocolates on the night for the best performance with his sunglasses on the red carpet and throughout the night.
Which is the one that matters. Very, very good of you to observe it. Hey, I'm interested that there hasn't been as much controversy about Paddy Cripps winning this season because of that suspension. I thought that would be the talk of the day. How do you feel about that? And Gil McLachlan's comments about that he was agitated that the appeals board didn't suspend Cripps.
I think it would have been more controversial if he was suspended and he had have won, and then they would have had a player that had been suspended with a Brownlow medal and taking it off him. So the fact that he got off, I know it's been a little controversial. Of course, Gil McLachlan had a chat about that, and I guess he was more, having a go at the system and the fact that it was confusing for fans, because the AFL does want to protect the head, and Patrick Cripps knocked out a player. That did happen. He wasn't having a go at Patrick Cripps. He finds him a terrific player, deserving Brownlow medal winner, which everyone agrees with. So I'm actually happy that he didn't get rubbed out and we didn't have to deal with a situation where someone who'd been suspended had won a Brownlow medal, and then who knows what we do from there. So I think it's a good result all around.
Will, Geelong and Sydney have never played each other in a grand final. I'm supposed to ask you what the matchup will be like, but as a newly minted member of the Sydney bandwagon, tell me that my enthusiasm is well placed, please.
Well, I'm actually... Look, I don't know what I am. I'm from Geelong. I live in Perth. I've played with West Coast. I was going for Fremantle this year, and now Geelong and Sydney end up in the AFL Grand Final. So I'm here to tell you I know exactly what I'm talking about. Geelong and Sydney never met in a Grand Final, as you've correctly said. Look, I do think that they present a challenge that Geelong hasn't had for probably 8 or 9 weeks. Geelong have been playing sides at the back end of the season that couldn't really defend. They played West Coast, they played St Kilda, they played Gold Coast, they played Western Bulldogs in the last 4 rounds. And then in finals, yes, they played Collingwood in a qualifying final, a great game, but Collingwood attack, they don't defend, whereas this Sydney side, they're a defensive side. They can shut down your best players, they can put pressure on you. So, look, I think I might be on the Sydney bandwagon. I think they're going to present Geelong a challenge that they haven't faced, and Sydney might win the grand final.
Welcome. There's a little spot next to me on it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you followed everything he was saying there too.
What a year for you to jump on board the bandwagon.
Week,
really.
Week.
Yeah, what a week.
When you wait for grand final week, you're probably going to be in that situation. Hey, well, we just heard that Buddy Franklin has re-signed with the Swans for a year. He's about to play his 6th grand final. I just assumed he'd play, and if he won, he'd retire. Are you surprised that he signed on the dotted line?
I'm not really. I mean, if you look at the last game he played, the preliminary final against Collingwood, he was probably the best player on the ground for the first quarter and a half. So he's still got what it takes. He's been one of, if not the best power forward in the league for 15 years now. I found out firsthand just what that feels like. He kicked 8 goals on probably me personally at the first game at Optus Stadium ever. So I know exactly how much of a good player he is. So there's no doubt that Sydney would have wanted him to play. If he didn't want to go on, that would be the only way he doesn't continue in the AFL. There were rumours about him going somewhere else. But the fact that he releases grand final week, there'll be another year at Sydney. If Sydney fans weren't happy enough, well, now you should be very excited.
Well, great to chat, Will. I know we had to drag you away from the Queen's funeral to talk to us tonight, so thank you very much.